Yep, that's what it's for.
Face the camera. Are you ready to go? I see you. Thank you. Hello. This is how I like to see this room. This is a great day to have all of you around today. And now, just speaking with Jason, it looks like, I think perhaps 2 days ago we thought the whole speaker thing was all filled up. We thought we had too many people that had speeches to do. And within 1 day we went from having too many people that wanted to do speeches to everybody dodging making a speech. So we've got to do some reorientation. We need to get you all back in the mood of giving speeches. And we'll do quite a few of that, okay? One key thing I think I wanted to bring up is, when you think about your speeches, I think half the time, don't think you have to give a complicated speech. Don't think you have to really do something that takes a lot of preparation unless you have a delivery. At times it's just putting yourself out there is just good enough. It's, after all, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, just tell us something about you. That'll be good enough. So, but I'm sure Jason has some rabbits to pull out of his pocket, so I would leave that to him. But let's first start with the pledge, and then.
You got a flag, Richard.
Oh,
we don't have a little flag.
Okay, let's all read together.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being my guest today. I really appreciate every single one of you. And I was trying to say, who and who don't you know? Paulette is new. She's not new to Toastmasters. She's been in Toastmasters for a while. But she's joining us from Morton.
From Morton, yes.
And what would you like us to know about you?
Just that I've come from a really great chapter, and we are going to have a great one here. And I love your meeting of lunch hours. That means a lot. That traveling 85 miles an hour to get to that 4 o'clock meeting in Morton, that got a little old real fast. So it's a great idea.
It's nice to have you too. Of course, welcome back, my favorite Toastmasters. I see lots of you, and probably wouldn't be a bad idea, since it's been a while we've gotten all of us together, to just do a quick roll call, just so we can get to meet other members of the team. And I see 2 guests here from the Speechcraft class that we just completed. They're going to be our special guests. So I'll let JC do the Toastmaster introduction bit, but I'd like to introduce our Speechcrafters who are our big guests today. Jan, thanks for coming to the Toastmaster meeting. I appreciate having you.
Certainly, thanks for having me.
And Lisa,
Yes, hi.
thanks for coming on. I really appreciate that. And before I take too much of the glow from Jason, I'd like to quickly introduce the Toastmaster. Jason Matthews.
No applause, just throw money. All right, so we'll go get started. We're going to have a little bit of a mix of the agenda today, a little bit different than how we normally do it, since we did originally have 3 speeches that were scheduled, and unfortunately all 3 of those speeches have been canceled for one reason or another. However, we do get to have, Jan is going to hone her skills a little bit. She is speaking today at our Speechcrafters graduation, so we'll get to that in a little bit. First, what I'd like to do is I'd like to go through each of the folks that we have that are in the roles. Please say who you are and identify that that is the role that you're taking, and tell a little bit about what that role is today, okay, please. First, we will have the invitation used. The general evaluator is going to be
Kelly couldn't make it, so we need a volunteer for
So do
that.
we have a volunteer for a general evaluator?
I'll do it.
We have 2 volunteers.
It's been a while since I did it, so if you would like, that would be fine.
You want to do it then, Jen?
Sure.
Okay, so Jen, you want to tell us just a little bit about what the general evaluator does?
So the general evaluator gives overall evaluation of the program, as well as introducing the individual evaluators calling for the time report, the grammarian report, and the odd counter report.
Very good. Thank you. We have two evaluators that are on here, regular evaluators. Since we only have one speech, evaluator one will be Rebecca, if you want to evaluate James as we go through, maybe take some notes. I don't think she has a book, but we will all have our little slips that we can give some ideas on also. The timer is George. George, you going to be our timer today?
Yes, I am. I will be timing the speech. I will be flipping up a green card once you've reached your time, and throw up a yellow card when you have a minute left. I'll also be timing the table topics, which will be shooting for 1 to 2 minutes, I think.
Correct.
And also the evaluation should be 2 to 3 minutes also. Okay, great. Our grammarian is, Eric's going to be our grammarian,
Yep.
right?
Grammarian will basically be looking for the proper use of the language. So we'll report back on any misuses. That would be fine.
Very good, very good. And lastly, Drew's going to be our counter. Drew?
Yeah, the odd counter finds any fillers that you say. So ahs, likes, anything that is a filler for space. I'll be counting.
Very good, very good. Thank you very much. All right, without further ado, we do have an invocation for his humorous, I'm not sure exactly which it is, that is scheduled by Inspiration. Very good. By Ms. Jennifer Gates. So if you would like to go up and give that, appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I wanted to take a minute to share with you one of the quotes that's been hanging on my desk for the past almost, dare I say it, 16 years. When I first began at Caterpillar, this came across back when we had black screen with green words, email. This came across in one of the weekly emails. And the quote says, "There are no secrets to success. Don't waste time looking for them. Success is the result of perfection, hard work, learning from failure, loyalty to those for whom you work, and persistence." Spoken by General Colin Powell, U.S. Army retired. And I think this is a great quote, especially for those of us at Caterpillar, because it reminds us every day to keep striving and go Team Cat. Good results this year.
Also, welcome our distinguished postmaster, Marty, who has now joined us.
And I apologize for being late. If you need agendas, you can send them around. Hi, good to see you, Eric. Hello.
And I would also
Hello.
like to welcome one more person that
One
walked
more's
in
coming
late.
around, so.
Ronald, if you'd like to just say hi and say who you are real quick.
Hi, I'm Ron Castillo. I come from the Toastmasters Speechcrafters. So I'm here as a guest to see how the project goes, and I want to see if I want to join eventually. So,
Welcome. And next we're going to have our word of the day. I believe, Paulette, you have our word of the day.
Conundrum.
Would you please come up here and write it up and raise some of the words for us?
I'm sorry, I don't have it from Webster's. But it's being in somewhat of a jam. It's something that isn't quite, when you have a conundrum, it's not always clear what the answer is to your question. Maybe someone actually has one of those little smartphones and could look it up. Sorry, but it's my favorite word, and I'm sorry I didn't bring that with me. But it is a noun, to be in a conundrum.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So it's that virtual rock and hard place, middle ground, right? Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So we can't get that word used a little bit here today, I'm sure. The way we're facing all of our stresses in life and getting all of our works done, we're often placed in yes.
I'm having a bit of a conundrum right now, because I'm going to evaluate Jan, and I don't know what form. Could somebody tell me which one to use out of all of these?
That's a good question. I guess in this case, maybe just an overall evaluation. If you take something from your book, maybe even using
This first book?
Like, I think,
maybe an organization.
by the time you're ready, I'll give you a empty one. I think the one, the organizer speech will give you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, next on our agenda here, we're going to skip around instead of having Jan come up and give a speech. We're going to, since we do have a full room and we don't have as many speeches that are presented, we're going to go to our table topics first. And I would appreciate it, each one of you would probably try to, if at all possible, participate in our table topics. So Dawn Cruz, please come up and welcome our table topics master, Dawn Cruz.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm going to present the table topic today, which is I'm going to start a story. The next person will continue the story in a line. So 1 to 2 minutes for each person. So I'm going to start the story. The other day, as descriptive as possible. So the other day, I was slowly walking in the most beautiful green spring flower garden of our local park. And as I was hopping along, I noticed there was a duck in the pond, a fluffy yellow duck with an orange beak, keeping quietly. And as I saw this duck, I wondered why he wasn't running from me. And I noticed that his little paw was stuck underneath a little stick and he was trying to pull free. I thought, oh, what a conundrum. This poor little bird, yes. Who would like to go on with the rest of the story? Okay, good.
Hello, Toastmaster. As I see the dog, I immediately think, wow, I need to help him. But as I start getting close to him, approaching him really slowly, he starts flapping his wing and trying to bite me. Because as anyone, who's scared, they will bear their fangs or whatever. They will try. They will defend themselves. So I'm like trying carefully to, get his feet on stop. He's whacking and going at me. So one of my friends that was walking with me, he gave me a stick to use to try to lift the branch that had his feet and stuff. So after trying to hold him down, we managed to free the dog. So I felt a little relieved. I did my good deed of the day. Well, I can rest in peace tonight because I did something really good. But then, as I kept walking on the park, I see a dog going around by itself, and I immediately thought, oh, is this a lost dog? Without knowing or thinking so. Anyone will.
So we got the lost dog, and I'm at the park with my dogs, and I've got a big van, and in that it's a
cargo van. It's a Chevy cargo van. It's a 2003 Chevy Astro cargo van, and it's all-wheel drive, so it gets us wherever we want to go. So I grab the dog, and I put him on a leash, and I take him to the van. I put him in one of the crates in the van, and then I grab the duck, and I put him in another crate in the van. They're all secure, so then I walk my dogs. I got my big, beautiful, fluffy German Shepherd, and when I open up the crate, he stays because he's been trained. He doesn't get to get out of the van until he gives me eye contact. So he's waiting, and I make him wait for about at least 7 seconds, because you don't want a 7-second dog. So we count 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4 banana, 5 banana, 6 banana, 7 banana. And if he tries to get out of the crate, then I slam the door. I don't really hit his nose, but just kind of, just for effect. So he's waiting, so he gets out. I put his flexi on him. And we walk, and we walk, and we walk, and we walk, and then I put him back, and then I get my other dog. And same deal, and walk, and put her back in the crate. And then the little ducks started to kind of go, wah, 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 wah. So she needs help. So can anybody help her? True story. Help with the duck?
You could pick somebody.
Point to somebody.
So I'm at the park, and I keep wondering why everybody's trying to help this duck. Because don't they know that they're fanged ducks? And so I had trapped it earlier in the day. I had my fanged duck hunting dog that was running through the park, and we had already captured one. I had tied it down. I actually put a stick on his foot where it couldn't attack anybody. And then I sent my dog off to round up the rest of the pack of fanged ducks. And when I came back, the ducks were released. The dog was going crazy. I don't know what to do. Can anybody help me?
What a conundrum. Ducks everywhere, fanged duck dogs, onlookers. Oh, and forgotten that this was Key West, Florida. So you're down there and you've got all the people in their little flip-flops and drinking margaritas and having a great time watching this entire adventure. However, nothing could be compared, all this cacophony of noise, to an arrival of a fresh group of animals, the Key West gypsy chickens. Key West chickens have been around since the time of the cigar rolling industry from Cuba, and as a result they brought their chickens with them, probably for a little cockfighting as well as everything else, and the meat and the eggs, and then they were released as the Safeways, etc., came to Key West. So the issue is that there's probably nothing, even fanged ducks, cannot compare to a Key West rooster when it is in full bloom. So in addition to the ducks, there were 3 Key West roosters in the midst of this, not to mention the chicken huggers, i.e. the people in Key West who love the chickens, and the chicken muggers who feel like the only place they should be is in a stew pot. Help us out in this time of need. Marty!
May Adams Table Topic Master. Definitely an exciting day at Key West. All of this commotion. And we need someone to come and get control of the situation. So of course we look for a Toastmaster. The Toastmaster takes the podium, the lectern, and challenges those that love the chickens to collect the chickens. And our famous hunter, we give him the authority to collect the ducks and take them to a safe refuge for fanged ducks. And all of those people in their flip-flops are totally impressed with this Toastmaster who uses their oratory skills to organize and inspire people and truly lead people. Because Toastmasters is where leaders are made. Madam Table Topic Master.
I'll go.
Okay.
Table Topics Master? Or Toastmasters? While Toastmaster was giving all this oratory stuff, there were a group of visiting Nigerians out there. They were standing just on the side wondering what's going on. Why are all those animals there? Animals don't belong on the streets. Apologies to the pet owners. They believe the animals belong in a stew pot. Now, the cultural issue here depends on which animals. The chickens definitely in the stew pot. The dogs depends on which part of Africa you come from. West Africa, they don't really like it that much. East Africa, absolutely. Central Africa, oh my God, it's a delicacy. So it really depends. There's a cultural issue here. And then you talk about the dogs. Whichever part of Africa you come from, it's a delicacy. North, South, Central, Eastern Africa, dogs are tasty. What exactly are you doing having them on the streets? Let's get them into the pot. What's going to help me out here? Thanks, Jay.
I finally am able to free myself from this dream. And I'm thinking to myself, there was a duck with a hurt leg. No, wait, the duck had been pinned down by the owner of the fanged duck hunting dogs. Then the duck was in a cage with the German Shepherds in the van.
Yeah.
Then there were Key West gypsy chickens, and there were chicken muggers, and pro-chicken people. Then there was a Toastmaster, and then there were Nigerians, West Africans, East Africans, and Central Africans. My little speech that I have to give at work today can't be near as bad as all this.
I guess that will conclude our story unless anybody else wants to keep it going on. There was one last part to it though that you didn't realize, was to wake up for the dream, you had to feed everybody of those people marshmallows. And when you woke up, your pillow was Very good, very good. That was very entertaining. Everybody did a great job. That was fantastic. Well, then the storytelling skills here are pretty impressive. So that's pretty amazing. All right, next we're going to get to our speech of the day, and we are going to welcome Jan. Now, Jan is she participated in a speech crafters that we just had here in a local in AV building that Najim and Eldon had ran, which was fantastic. Thank you very much for doing that. I think everybody got out of that. So today we're going to be having our graduation ceremony held for our workshops. Any of you that may also be coming, other Toastmaster clubs that are joining, and guests from all around. So I think there's going to be over 100 people there, I think.
About 90.
About 90. Just short of 100 people over there. So it's going to be pretty fantastic. And And it's going to be run similar to how we're doing this. It's going to be run as a kind of a club meeting. And our club, our Speechcraft, was nominated to be the speaker. And throughout our entire club, we voted who is going to be the speaker, and I think we made the best choice because the unanimous decision was to have Jan do it. She's done a fantastic job so far. So, now a little bit about Jan is she's been with Caterpillar for 4 years and is in accounting in the Human Services Division, correct? More importantly, she is the proud parent of a husband and a puppy. And she is a lifelong animal lover. She's recently gone through the experience of adopting a puppy, just I guess recently here. And she's going to talk about a little bit about raising that puppy and what that has meant to her. So she's going to share what she's learned by raising that puppy in a speech entitled Life Lessons as Taught by a Puppy. Please welcome Jan Brack.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good afternoon, Toastmasters, fellow Speechcrafter guests. Thank you for being here. I'm Jan. Have you ever tried to put a full snowsuit, complete with 4 legs and a hood, on an excited, wiggling puppy? I'd advise against it. I've never aspired to be a pageant mom, but don't know how else to describe the situation I found myself in last October. Our puppy Gridley was selected to be in the dog fashion show for the Women's Lifestyle event at the Civic Center. Backstage, I struggled to get Gridley through 3 wardrobe changes, while 20 other dogs and their owners tried to do the same. A year earlier, I could not have imagined anything that would have compelled me to be in this situation. My husband and I adopted Gridley as a 5-pound ball of fur in October of 2010. Now, at 15 pounds and a year and a half later, he's changed my life immeasurably. It's amazing how quickly a puppy, or perhaps for many of you, a baby, can take over your life and the lessons they'll teach you along the way. Today, I'll share with you just a few of the lessons that raising a puppy has taught me about life. The first lesson, looks really can get you everywhere. Whether it's a puppy or a baby, I'm sure most of you would agree, it's a good thing they're cute. For Gridley, there are few things more adorable than seeing him prance through the house with one of our shoes in his mouth. He knows he's not supposed to take them, but he's so proud of himself, and the shoe is disproportionately large for his size. When you tell him to drop it, he'll give you a sad, remorseful puppy face and slowly drop the shoe to the floor. Now, you can't be mad, and instead you find yourself wondering whether you should be praising him for obeying and dropping the shoe he never should have had in the first place. From this, I take away that if you're going to get in trouble, look cute doing it. The second lesson, attitude is everything. When teaching Gridley new commands or tricks, it's clear he has absolutely no idea what we're asking him to do. But he's excited, fully engaged, making eye contact, has the tail wagging, the rear end wiggling. He'll go so far as to run through every possible trick he knows in an attempt to please us and get rewarded. And this tactic will often pay off. We can apply the same lesson to our own experiences with customer service. In my attempt to replace the dishwasher in our 76-year-old home, I found that our original custom cabinetry did not accommodate a standard dishwasher. One large home improvement store told me that the dimensions we needed were no longer made by any manufacturer. Another store brainstormed possible solutions for us and suggested European brands, thinking that European kitchens tend to be more compact. They found a solution that met our needs and in turn sold us a premium priced product. In their own way, they ran through every possible trick they had and were rewarded as a result. The third lesson, our lives need balance. Before Gridley entered our lives, it was easy to get caught up at work, let the evening slip away, figuring both my husband and I could fend for ourselves for dinner. It's very different when you know that there's something anxiously awaiting your arrival at home, and in fact depending on it for the necessities of food, water, and using the bathroom. I pay more attention to the time now because I have to, but also because I want to. There's no other living being that's as excited to see you at the end of the day as a puppy. On the days that Gridley attends doggy daycare, I find myself worrying whether I'm going to be that last parent to pick him up at the end of the day. And no one wants to be that parent. Even with the added time commitments, expenses, and chaos of having a puppy, a balanced life is a more fulfilling one. The fourth lesson: everyone needs a voice, even if we tire of hearing it. Parents are often eager for the children to learn to communicate, whether through gestures or words. Think of a young child that has recently learned the word again. You think your child's a genius until the third, fourth, or fifth time of flying them through the house like Superman, each time getting more exhausted and impatient as they exclaim, "Again, again!" I equate this to bell training our puppy. The idea being that when he needs to go outside to use the bathroom, he'll jingle the bells on the back door. The first few times he rang the bells on his own, we were elated. We had a genius dog, until he started ringing the bells just to go outside and play or dig in the yard. Ignoring the bells only results in escalating enthusiasm on his part. First, it's just a little jingle, the result of a nudge with his nose. Then each ring after that becomes progressively louder until all of a sudden it sounds as though he's body slammed the back door and the bells are swinging wildly across the door and the wall. Gridley has found his voice and way of communicating through gestures. The fifth lesson: you can love someone not only in spite of their flaws, but because of them. Without a doubt, Gridley eating rabbit poop and rolling in dead worms falls into the category of loving him in spite of his flaws. On the other hand, his love of paper products and shredding them is oddly endearing. Tissues, toilet paper, paper towel, receipts, even my work papers aren't exempt when I'm working from home. But there will come a day when Gridley will no longer care, and we'll put that toilet paper roll back on the dispenser, and we'll sadly recall a time that he was a playful puppy that would have shredded it until it looked as though it snowed in our bathroom. This is a flaw I love him for. We all have friendships and relationships with people that we love in spite of and even because of some of their flaws. In saying this, I fear that the next time that I complain about the dishes being left in the sink, my husband will tell me that I love him because he doesn't put them in the dishwasher. I've shared with you just 5 of the many life lessons that our puppy Gridley has taught me. Looks can get you everywhere. Attitude is everything. Our lives need balance. Everyone needs a voice. And we can love others in spite of and because of their flaws. Puppies, like children, can teach you so many things about yourself and living life in the present. Like I did, you'll likely find that there are some things in life where putting aside your personal reservations and stepping outside your comfort zone to proudly strut down that runway with a puppy and a snowsuit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jen. That was fantastic. I think you're more than right. That's a great job. Great job. And it's funny, since I had the privilege of hearing Jan practice this yesterday also on my way home. Where I live, I have to go up a pretty steep switchback of hills. And the first house when you go up to where I live, there's a guy who used to have this German Shepherd, always leashed, always out in the front yard. Clearly an outside dog. It wasn't the nicest of animals. I think it bit the mailman at least on 2 occasions. It was sad, yet enlightening to see that there was a brand new little puppy he had in the front yard. Because I knew that the other dog, unfortunately, had moved on, but he had got another little German Shepherd puppy just like that. It made me think of this. I was just like, he's in for another couple of years of a whole lot of fun. So, okay, thank you. So with that, I would like to bring up our general evaluator to our general evaluator. Jen Gates, so she can give a general evaluation of
Fellow Toastmasters. We've had a great meeting so far. Jason did a fabulous job introducing Jan's speech. Jan, I think you did a great job. I hope you do well tonight at the meeting. Jason, as well as keeping us on time in the meeting. It's so nice to see such a large crowd. A couple meetings before we kind of gotten to where it was dwindled, so I'm glad that we're growing back up again. Dawn, thank you for a great table topic session. Also, a very simple start to a flamboyant, wild story that ended as a dream. So, without further ado, Becky, are you ready for Jan's evaluation? Everybody welcome Becky. She's going to give Jan her evaluation.
Well, Jan, I don't know. You did a fabulous job. It was so good. I have a lot of notes here, but I think the way you started it off, telling about the fashion show and all the work that you had to do, I never thought about something like that. And I'm sure it was really hard because I've had dogs before. And puppies are lots of work, but the rewards are so much. I'm a big dog lover myself. But I think the speech value, it's going to be perfect for tonight. I was kind of expecting you to do the other speech, and I thought, wow, this is just great. Because you talked about having a puppy, how it relates to work, relationships with people, and you just kept tying it all together, and I thought you did just a fabulous job. It was very smooth. I didn't see you hesitate just that one little bit, which, you know, I thought you picked it up very well. Your expression was great. You talked about all the good and the bad with dogs, which we all know there's a lot of those. You know, sometimes you think, why did I get a dog again? Especially when they're making all these messes and eating other animals' poo. You're like, why? But they do grow up, and you do look back at those times like, I miss all that. It's like when you have a baby. They're a lot of work, but they do grow up, and then you kind of miss all those cute little bad things they did. I thought your opening was very good. I enjoyed the fashion show and the wardrobe changes. That was good. And you had great flow when you started into all the middle part. You clearly told us all the steps, which it was real easy to follow. The conclusion was really good. You went over everything that you talked about, which was easy for me to follow. Oh yeah, she said this and this and this. That was really good. Transitions were great. Like I said, I don't even know what I would tell you to change on it. I just thought it was perfect. What I liked was I loved all the comparisons to the home repair and life issues and work. That was great. Our lives do need more balance, and I know a dog will help you with that. You kind of forget yourself. You have to help another person or an animal or whatever. So I really I thought it was great. I can't really say anything negative, just that one little break of, it looked like you were thinking about it, which, you know, that's easy to have happen. So I thought you did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Becky. Next, I'll just have George stand and give us the time report, please.
Okay. On the table topics, I'll just read through all of these. Ron came in at 1:37 seconds. Lisa at 1:15. I came in at a minute. Paulette was at 1:25. Marty was at 1 minute. Najim was at 1:20. And Jen came in at 48 seconds. Jan came in at 7 minutes 31 seconds on her speech. And Becky's evaluation was 2 minutes 35 seconds.
Eric, do you have our grammarian report?
As a grammarian, I have quite the conundrum. There was no grammar issues today, so definitely a good job. I tried to, find somebody maybe even using a wrong tense, and I couldn't even see that at all. So great job.
Drew is our off-runner.
Out of the whole meeting, I found 15 fillers. If you want your individual markings, I can give that to you later, but I found there were 7 ums, 4 you knows, 2 ahs, and 2 so's.
Great. And the word of the day, did you keep track of how many times conundrum was used?
I think 4, maybe something.
I think 4 is about right. All right, well, that concludes our evaluation portion of the program. I'll turn it back over to the Toastmaster.
I feel today's meeting so far is going really well. Again, it's good to see some of the new faces. I hope you'll continue to come to all of our Toastmasters meetings. If you don't already have it on your schedule, I'm sure either Eldon, Najim, or Marty, or whoever can make sure that it is on your schedule. We look forward to having other folks attend and broadcast on anybody else who's of interest. Is there a sign-up sheet by any chance that's going around for future
Why don't you
agendas?
just ask for this one to be filled up? On the agenda that I handed out, I have the agenda for May 10th. So if you could, or I can do that now if you'd like me to come up and solicit to fill those roles.
Sure.
Sure, that would be
Would that be all right,
fantastic.
Zeke?
Yeah.
That'd be
All right.
fantastic.
I better get my glasses.
So for today's Toastmaster meeting solicitor, please welcome.
All right. Our next meeting is May 10th, and everyone is invited. We are looking for, and I just am confirming that we have 3 speakers already signed up. We have Jennifer.
Yes.
George, you're giving your second speech, is that right?
I am.
Eldon, you're working on an advanced
Yes.
designation. And then we have a need for we have the table topic master. Jason, you're set to do that. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you can always change these.
Oh, that's
Everyone
fine.
is invited to use the website to add your name or take your name off as is necessary. We have some openings, so I will start with volunteers and take your name as you choose to volunteer for something. Margie.
Evaluator.
All right, have you down for evaluator number 2. And Lisa.
The app counter.
Okay. Lisa, what is your last name?
Bremeyer, B-R-E-Y-M-E-I-E-R.
B-R.
E-Y.
There's the Y.
M-E-I-E-R.
M-E-I-E-R. And I'll need your email address so that I can add you to the, and I'm making the assumption that you will be applying for membership now.
Correct.
Okay, super. I'll talk to you after we get this, but then I'll get you added to the list and you'll get a notification of how to get on the website.
Okay.
Any other volunteers before I start making assignments?
I would like to volunteer for Wordmaster again, and this time I'll bring my own.
All right.
I won't have to ask for one.
Okay. We need a general evaluator. Louise, will you be in?
I was thinking about the evaluator number 3.
All right. We have the tough job of Toastmaster.
Drew.
Well, I'm signed up as an evaluator, but I can be the Toastmaster.
Okay, I'm looking for that. Got it, Drew. Thank you. And Dawn, I see your hand is raised. Would you like to do invocation?
It wasn't, but yes.
Oh, okay. So we still need, yes, Drew.
Am I doing the Toastmaster or the evaluator?
Let's see.
Which do you want to do?
I'll take the evaluator if you'll do Toastmaster.
All right, it's a deal. We're now playing Let's Make a Deal. We still need a general evaluator. And I'm not 100% sure about Young Lee, but I'll work on that. So, general evaluator just conducts the meeting portion that, as was demonstrated so well by your general evaluator today. Yes! Brian, B-R-Y, is that right? Thank you. Thanks for helping me out, Eldon. And I think that takes care of everything. We've got Drew for Toastmaster, Dawn for Invocation, Paulette for Word Master. We have our 3 speakers, Jennifer, George, and Eldon. Table topics by Jason. General evaluator, Brian. Becky is our first evaluator, Margie our second evaluator, Louise our third evaluator. Young Lee is our timer, our grammarian is Najib, our counter, and that takes care of business. One more point by Eldon.
I'd like to point out that the new website has a terrific format, but it is lacking a spot for a backup speaker.
We can put that in.
I think that would be great to have in cases like today where the speakers were not able to fulfill their roles. If we had places on there for backup speakers to sign up, then that would help to fill those roles.
Absolutely. I will see that that is done, Mr. Vice President of Membership.
Thank you.
Which also brings me to another topic. We will be looking for officers for the 2012-2013 calendar year for Toastmasters, which begins July 1st. And we need to have an election. We need to provide a slate of officers at our May 10th meeting and have an election on May 24th. So there will be emails as we talk to you about your interest in helping out the club and developing your leadership skills. One other thing to mention is there is a district conference this weekend in Bloomington at the Chateau. It's only $15 to attend. There are some fabulous speakers, and the function or the administrative process of the district to support the clubs, which includes the council meeting. Our club has 2 votes, one for our Vice President of Education, which is myself, and our club president, which is Najim. Now, because I belong to a few other clubs, we're still looking for people maybe to carry that proxy. Najim, I hadn't heard yet whether you were going to be able to attend.
I would not be able to.
So we need someone who is going to be there. Paulette, were you thinking about being there?
Check my schedule, I'll let you know.
Okay, well, I will be there. Like I said in my email, I'm involved in a lot of things with Toastmasters, so I will be there at the credentials desk.
At what time is the vote?
You need to be there by about 8:45. The council meeting is at 8 o'clock.
And I have a commitment till 2.
Okay, all right. Well, that's all right. We'll do the best we can with what we have. I'd like to encourage you to look ahead to the fall conference, which will be right here in Peoria. We'll try and give you as much notice as we can about that event. We encourage you to participate here in the clubs, but also to see what is available to you outside of the clubs and just give you a broader perspective and add balance to your Toastmaster life. Mr. Toastmaster, I'll let you wrap up the meeting, and then we'll invite our president to make any further comments. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, madam. One last comment before we wrap up, and maybe this falls on me, but I want to remind folks that if you have your competent communicator manual or your competent leaders manual if you performed any of the duties today, to pass it on to someone that can evaluate in any of those areas. With that, I think overall we had a great meeting, and I will return it back to our group president, Najib.
Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
My thought the meeting today went really, really well. And I think you had all the key points I really wanted to touch on. This weekend, maybe I'll still touch base with you, Marty. I'm tied up. I would see if I can shift some things around. Hopefully see if I can get some money first of all. But definitely, I think beyond what we do within the club, I think what really makes you enjoy Toastmasters the most is the networking even outside of this group. The few times when I've had to do some of these conferences outside of training sessions that we go with the officers, just meeting a lot more Toastmasters makes a whole lot of difference. It encourages you, really makes you feel good about what you're doing. So I'd like to encourage us all to think about it. Second bit too is look at today's meeting. And I think it goes back to the point where we say, I always, you guys in my Toastmasters, I said there are two key things. Practice, practice, practice. Always practice, but then again, see, like today, I know two things, practice and preparation. I think those are the two things that always go together. But you could prepare forever and then you never just know what you're going to eat with. Jason's been getting ready for a couple of days. Oh, I have 3. How do I paste them and everything else? And then he came to the last day and he had no speakers. Then you have to scramble around at the last minute to make it work. So that goes back to some of the lessons we also learned right here. You could practice, you could prepare, but you always have to have that backup for the unknown. Because when the unknown happens, nobody's going to sit and watch you and say, well, it was the unknown, we'll pity him. They're going to be looking at you like, okay, fine, so it happens, what are you going to do about it? Always have a backup plan. What if the speakers don't pick it? What else can I do? How else can I make the meeting work? Let's keep that in the back of your minds. It's a huge lesson. I think you touched on the next thing. The 2 things we're here for. Communication, we want to really, really improve ourselves. Leadership is the second bit. Let us make sure we get credit for roles. So when you have roles, like you all have roles today, make sure you bring your leadership manual and get credit for it. If you don't, you just lose all that good stuff. I used to lose all that good stuff. I did quite a few roles and I never signed anything. I kept biting myself. Now I'm trying to finish my communications, my competent leadership manual. And I look at all those roles now. I've done this stuff like 15 times over, but I have done of it recovery. Don't follow my example. Always make sure you get credit.
And check with me. I'll be happy to back things up, give you an evaluation, and give you credit. You just have to approach me. I'm not going to approach you. But I will do everything I can in any way that I can that's within the boundaries of legitimacy to give you credit for what you've done, which also reminding some of our new Toastmasters, you get credit in Caterpillar CLMS for achieving your CC or your CM.
And you recall, just like we told you when you began, all the speech crafters that I just completed, if you do a speech craft session, you do get your, you do get a $20 discount, which is how much you have to pay to register as a Toastmaster. That will give you that discount. All you have to pay is just your other fees. So I think that you have to register within how long from when speech craft session is?
30 days.
Get that benefit?
30 days.
Suggest that if you sign up by the end of May.
If you sign up by the end of May, you get that break. But definitely, more than anything, and it's not a sales pitch, I think just like I did, I think you guys have a lot to gain from just being a part of this. And the time commitment is lunchtime. You can bring your lunch so you don't lose anything. So you get to gain and you don't lose anything. Win-win situation. Thanks everyone. Look forward to seeing you all in 2 weeks time. Okay?